Hey everyone, Neil Diamond is a music icon who has shaped generations of listeners. His songs are still everywhere. Sweet Caroline alone could fill a stadium, and everyone knows pretty much every word. So when I heard about a new film centered on his music, I kind of assumed it would be another nostalgia-driven documentary. But you know what? That's not what Song Sung Blue is doing. Not at all. This film comes at Neil Diamond from a completely different angle. It tells the story of a real couple from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who make their living performing as a Neil Diamond tribute act known as Lightning and Thunder. These are the kind of performers who you've seen before. The Elvis impersonators, the Dolly Partons, the Michael Jacksons, people who keep an artist's music alive by sharing it with their local communities. What makes Song Sung Blue different is that it is not really about Neil Diamond, not at all. It's about what his music means to the people who love it. Hugh Jackman stars as Mike, and honestly, he looks a lot like Neil Diamond. More importantly, he can sing and he can act, and that really matters here. The real surprise for me was Kate Hudson. Like, I knew Hugh Jackman was a shoo-in for this role, but I was not prepared for Kate Hudson to match him note for note emotionally and musically. The two of them together weren't a pairing I would have chosen, but they were absolutely great. And they work as a couple so well, whose lives just revolve around each other and their music. Song Sung Blue is based on a true story with some necessary changes to shape it into a film that works on screen. There is music in it, but I would not call it a musical in the traditional sense of the word. So I think that will make it a lot more accessible for a lot of people who aren't really into musicals. The question is this a movie for you, especially with it arriving right as people are looking for something meaningful to watch over the holidays? Is this a Christmas theater pick, or is this one you want to wait for and catch it on streaming? That's what we got to get into today. If this sounds interesting, please do give this review a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But you know what? Let's get into it. All right. So this film opens with Mike at this AA meeting on his 20th sober birthday as he sings the Song Sung Blue. This opening is the kind of film opening. I'm saying a lot of the words opening multiple times here, but this opening is the kind of opening that absolutely nails how to introduce a character. It is such a great choice because it instantly sets us up to understand his life, his struggles in life, his emotional state, what's going on with him. That clarity matters because a good film needs a strong foundation within those first 10 minutes. And Song Sung Blue hits that note. All right, I seem to be making a lot of puns lately. I apologize to the people who don't like puns, but there you go. This film hits that note. From there, we see Mike performing as Lightning at the county fair with other impersonators, which is where he meets Claire. And they just click. They build this act together. The movie does a really nice job of showing us how these two very similar yet very different people learn to work together and live together. Their lives have some huge ups and downs, man. They have some hard struggles. Life is not easy. They disagree. They make great music together and they build this incredible love story that feels a lot like a look inside of a relationship, like how to make a relationship work. However, this is not a romance. And I just want to make that clear here. I don't see this movie as a romance. It is a love story. And Song Sung Blue is a terrific film for showing us the difference between what a romance and a love story is on screen. What helps to sell this is that Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson have so much chemistry. It's just ridiculous. They look like two people who genuinely enjoy each other and who are delighted that they are in each other's lives and that they each exist in this world together. I mean, you can feel the warmth between them. You can feel that shared humor that they bring to the screen. And there's this partnership that they share in this story that It just feels different. It just is nice. It's just so nice. Their energy really is infectious and it carries the story forward in a way that makes you root for them, even when things get really difficult. And let me tell you, there are some low spots in this film. I don't know why this feels so rare lately, but it is so nice to see two actors who simply disappear into their parts and bring their characters to life in such a realistic way. One of the things I genuinely loved about this film is how it treats tribute art. I grew up in a family of musicians. We were always playing music, writing original songs or playing cover music. Like I was a DJ. Like I love music. I love going out listening to bands on stage. And I've always understood that special relationship between the original artist and the people who carry their music forward. Tribute artists are often treated like a joke, especially in movies. They are usually played for laughs. They feel exaggerated or fake or reduced to a costume instead of a person. And sometimes that even happens in real life too. Song Sung Blue treats them with respect and honors their lives as working musicians. In turn, Mike and Claire are not pretending to be Neil Diamond. I mean, they are honoring him here. The film asks a really important question without ever spelling it out. What does it mean to play someone else's music for a living? How do you hold that legacy with respect while still making it meaningfully your own? And how do the people around you respond to that choice? As Lightning and Thunder perform Neil Diamond songs, you start to see how communal music is and how playing covers or being a tribute artist builds upon the foundation of the original artist. You can hear Neil Diamond in every note, as well as both Mike and Claire in how they perform his music. You can also hear the audience singing along. It becomes this shared experience that belongs to everyone in the room. This film, it captures that so well. It shows how music evolves and how it travels through communities and generations and how it becomes something larger than just one person on stage. The other thing this film gets absolutely right is the honesty of what it means to be a struggling artist at any level in any situation. The grind, it is real, man. It is real. Making art is one thing, but making a living while making art and doing it, it just isn't easy. And this film captures that struggle. This story understands the economic reality of creativity. You see what it means for a family, both emotionally and financially. You see the constant balancing act of paying the rent or buying the food or paying for the electricity and holding on to that thing that you love and trying to find time for it and for the people in your lives as well. At the same time, you also see the reward that comes with being on stage, connecting with the audience, and the feeling of what that music feels like as it kind of exchanges this energy between the performer and the audience. Song Sung Blue feels like a working class story inside of an ordinary life full of realistic struggles. What's great is that their personal experiences are also reflected in the themes of Neil Diamond's music. His songs have always been about ordinary lives and the tangible emotional experiences of being alive. By watching Mike and Claire together, you get this really intimate look into ordinary life through extraordinary eyes because of that Neil Diamond connection. And it's a beautiful thing. If you grew up listening to Neil Diamond, or even if you only know a few of his songs, the music in this film hits you in a very specific way. The filmmakers did a really good job of picking the right songs and placing them at the right moments within the story. This is not like watching a concert film where you just get a greatest hits playlist dropped on top of a story. That's not what they did. Instead, what they did was they chose the songs that actually fit with what was happening emotionally in the moment, They found a really nice way to update the feeling of the music while still keeping it classically Neil Diamond. The lyrics are spot on, the melodies are intact, but depending on what's happening on stage or in the story, there's a little more energy infused into the performances. They even blend a few songs together into these small medleys, which gives you a sense of variety without stopping the story cold. They might be in a performance or a rehearsal or a transitional moment, and suddenly they're playing something different, or you're hearing these different phrases and these different melodies woven together, and it just feels so natural for the moment within the story. The result is that you get this really strong selection of his music. You really get a sense of Neil Diamond, and you kind of get a better understanding of how his music translates into the real lives of real people. That to me is exactly how someone becomes a musical icon like Neil Diamond. His music doesn't just exist in records, it lives inside of people. Now, I do want to acknowledge that this review is very positive. I think I liked it a little bit too much. And that's because I don't know. I grew up listening to Neil Diamond. My mom used to sing his songs all the time. At the same time, though, there were these other things in the film that didn't work. As much as I liked it, there was some stuff that didn't work. One of the biggest challenges here is that a film like this is based on real people's lives. The story we see on screen makes it feel like the movie takes place over what, like a couple of years. But this couple, Mike and Claire, they actually performed together for nearly 2 decades or so. They were together a really long time, and there's just simply no way to fit all of that into a single film without some creative rewriting of their lives. The movie runs, it's like way over 2 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. There are some areas here that they could have been trimmed a bit. I am not sure why so many films lately feel like they have to go way over that 2 hour mark. But when you're telling a story of musical performers, I think there is some justification for a little allowance of extra time to add in some of those performances and rehearsals or stage moments on top of the story, because that's all part of the experience that the fans are expecting. These musical moments do kind of bulk the film out quite a bit, and most narratives wouldn't really be able to support it, but I don't know. It ended up working. I liked it. It was fun. The performances were all strong. And you know what? It was entertaining despite that long extra runtime. So, Song Sung Blue, is it ticket worthy? I gotta say, for most people, I think the answer is going to be yes, even though it is not a spectacle film. The performances really are well done, especially when Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson are together on screen singing. If you like Neil Diamond, I think you're going to enjoy this film. If you like music driven stories, I think you'll also enjoy the movie. Most of all, if you are looking for a positive, heartfelt story that is uplifting without being preachy, I know you're going to like this story. I also think that musicians will enjoy this film because you can't help but to see a bit of yourself in Mike and Claire. However, for people who don't like Neil Diamond's music, you might want to wait for streaming or just skip this one. Maybe it's not for you. So, what did you think of Song Sung Blue? Are you a Neil Diamond fan? If so, what's your favorite song? For me, it's Forever in Blue Jeans because my mom used to love singing that song. She would sing that song all the time while playing her guitar. It was amazing. However, I gotta say, after seeing this film, I have a whole new appreciation for the song Holy Holy. And I have been listening to it over and over in my car as I'm like driving around. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Please do remember to give this review a thumbs up and subscribe if this was helpful, and share it with a friend. While you're here, why not check out one of these other reviews? And I will see you all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye.